still, after all the fights you've had, in awe of the fact that you do what you do. It's mind-blowing to me.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to get your beat, but it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there. I can't really talk.
When this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off to. I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights.
Jake Paul has reportedly announced his retirement from boxing after his crushing sixth-round defeat to former heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua in Miami. A bout that also left him with a double fractured jaw that required surgery. The 28-year-old entered the fight as a crossover star, hoping to solidify his place in professional boxing. But Joshua's powerful right hand brought the contest to an end and sparked serious doubts about Paul's future in the sport.
I won 2 rounds for sure, and then he won 2, and then I got dropped. But yeah, I was doing good. I just think my cardio, just the mental pressure of the big guy and sparring the big people is different than the 10-ounce gloves. So I was feeling his power a lot more. But it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there. I can't really talk.
Are you in pain?
Yeah, but
Does it hurt?
it's not from like talking.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like, because you got
It's like a baseball in there.
two
then
plates?
It just feels like
4 titanium plates.
4 titanium plates. How many do you have?
Just 1.
8 screws. 8 screws.
Wait. All right, I got plate in my head.
For sure, Jake Paul has reportedly suggested that he's grown weary of absorbing heavy damage in the ring and is now considering stepping away from boxing after his brutal knockout defeat. The fight, in which Paul was dropped several times and ultimately sustained a double fractured jaw that required surgery, has fueled even more speculation about his future in the sport, especially after taking such severe punishment at the hands of one of boxing's most accomplished heavyweights.
I'm retiring from boxing. I'm getting hit in the fucking face every single day while I could be playing soccer in Saudi. I'm friends with the Saudis slash football.
Back in the day?
I was on the A team in 7th grade. I have a really good kick. I can run fast, and I'll knock out everyone that with us.
Yeah.
Please give me $1 billion.
Please give me $1 billion, and I approve this message. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn did not walk back his earlier prediction, but after the fight, he spoke in a far more serious tone. Reflecting on his previous claim that this matchup could end Jake Paul's career, Hearn said the result unfortunately supported what he had warned about. He explained that injuries such as a fractured jaw are not only painful, they are extremely difficult to overcome both mentally and physically, especially for a fighter who is still developing at the elite level. Hearn added that long breaks from sparring, the fear of getting injured again, and losing competitive rhythm can permanently change a boxer's career path. And although he praised Jake's toughness and determination to compete, Hearn emphasized that boxing is a brutal sport, and moments like this often force fighters to question whether the risks are truly worth it.
Too, because when this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off to. I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but you know he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. You know, it was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one-sided fight. But you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticise people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight.
UFC commentator and podcaster Joe Rogan shared a serious and cautionary response after Jake Paul was knocked out by Anthony Joshua and suffered a double fractured jaw, urging the influencer-turned-boxer to seriously reflect on the long-term consequences of continuing his boxing career. Rogan stressed that the punishment Paul absorbed, especially the heavy shots from an experienced heavyweight like Joshua, comes with risks that go far beyond immediate injury. suggesting there's a price to pay that may simply not be worth it, including severe long-term effects many fighters struggle with after their careers end. He explained that the knockout punch Paul received carried the impact of about 10 punches, illustrating how quickly damage can build up inside the ring. Rogan's message was not only about the single fight. It was a warning that repeatedly taking punishment at a high level can leave lasting consequences, and that Paul should carefully consider whether continuing is worth it.
That guy did great for someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade. He has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
I don't even remember what happened in the Tommy Fury.
He lost a close decision, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight, though. He's a good boxer. If he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
But
and then he started too with like more spectacle-ish fights. People were like, "Oh, this is you." He fought, Nate Robinson, like a basketball player.
But the thing is, he knocked Nate Robinson
He knocked him
dead,
the fuck out.
and it's the way he did it that I was trying to tell people. I'm like, no.
That was impressive. Jake Paul has also stated that he is thinking about intentionally going on a steroid cycle as a way to silence long-running accusations that he has already been using performance-enhancing drugs. According to online discussions and secondhand accounts, Paul suggested that visibly showing the difference in his body would prove that his earlier physique and performances were achieved naturally. Critics say the idea sounds irresponsible and provocative, while supporters believe Paul is simply pushing back against years of speculation surrounding his physical transformation and punching power. Given boxing's strict anti-doping regulations and the serious consequences associated with PED violations, many observers remain doubtful and warn people not to take the claim literally. Until Paul directly addresses the allegation on record, the statement remains unconfirmed, adding yet another layer of controversy to an already chaotic period in his career.
Jake said that I snort, that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me randomly for the next 5 years for if I can test you randomly for performance enhancing the next 2 years, and I never got a response on that.
This is why Jake Paul is on PEDs. Within this past year, Jake Paul has literally hit a second puberty and aged like 10 years. Furthermore, he has acne and his hairline is receding like crazy. And people like Jake Paul are going to the best skin doctors in the world and probably are taking hair loss products that aren't even approved for the rest of us. Now, I'm not saying that Jake Paul necessarily took a steroid to make him look bigger, but he's definitely taking something that allows him to recover faster. That way he's able to train.
That was skillful. Paul has also claimed that he's considering going on a cycle of steroids as an attempt to shut down long-standing claims that he's been using performance-enhancing drugs. Jake Paul reportedly suggested that visibly showing the difference in his physique would prove that his past body and performances were achieved naturally. Critics have called this idea reckless and provocative, while supporters argue that Paul is merely responding to years of speculation about his strength and transformation. Given boxing's strict anti-doping regulations and the severe consequences of PED use, many observers remain doubtful and advise caution before taking these claims at face value. Meanwhile, UFC legend Anderson Silva publicly defended Jake Paul after his high-profile bout with Anthony Joshua, emphasizing that people should respect Paul for stepping into the ring against such a formidable opponent. Silva noted that Paul has demonstrated a willingness to face genuine challenges rather than padded records, and simply agreeing to fight a former heavyweight world champion deserves recognition from fans. According to Silva, critics who previously dismissed Paul's earlier fights can no longer claim he avoided elite competition when he faced someone of Joshua's caliber. Despite the outcome, Anthony Joshua brutally fractured Jake Paul's jaw in the 6th round of their Miami heavyweight fight, resulting in a knockdown and ultimately a knockout. The punch broke Paul's jaw in 2 places, a serious injury immediately evident after the fight, and confirmed by Paul's own post displaying the damage. Following the bout, Paul was hospitalized, where surgeons repaired the double fracture, inserting 2 titanium plates on each side of his jaw and removing several teeth during the procedure. He later updated fans that the surgery went well, and that he would be on a liquid diet for roughly a week during recovery. While the PED allegation remains unverified, it adds yet another layer of controversy to an already turbulent moment in Jake Paul's career.
Respect him. I don't say that only because I'm fight here in a company, but it's because Jake, the people need to respect Jake, I mean, every single fight go inside the ring, it's by the
Never give a monkeys about what anyone says, because they sit at home, they're full of negativity. It's like the people that are negative towards someone like Jake Paul. Look at what he's done with his life. Do you know what I mean? So yes, it took AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, and then he knocked him spark out and broke his jaw. It was a frustrating 2-3 rounds maybe, because Jake was moving so much, holding, but did well, I thought. I mean, I was impressed with him. I mean, I was more impressed with his toughness, because I think that last shot would have knocked out most heavyweights. I mean, you've got to respect him, because he did what many people wouldn't do, which was get in the ring with him. And, you know, he didn't, I know he run and hold, but he also let his hands go at times. And he was in the firing line, and, you know, we got 6 good rounds in the end of actual work.
You see it in the end?
Yeah, I actually think it's a positive, because, you know, we could have gone in there and got it all over with 45 seconds. He's done an 8-week camp, and now he's done 6 rounds. He's got something to go back on, work on with the team.
The devastating 6th round knockout of Jake Paul by Anthony Joshua confirmed that the fight was authentic and not staged, contrary to speculation from some online critics. Promoter Eddie Hearn firmly denied claims that the bout was scripted, emphasizing that it was an officially sanctioned professional match with real stakes, overseen by boxing authorities and subject to legal betting regulations, making any prearranged outcome both illegal and highly unlikely. Hearn also highlighted the severity of Paul's double jaw fracture, a legitimate injury requiring surgery, as further proof that this was a genuine, unsimulated contest.
Damn, son. Fuck me. How did Jake Paul actually remain conscious after that? And yeah, he got a broken jaw in 2 different places, and when they zoomed in on his mouth inside after the fight, a row of his teeth had just been dislodged into a whole nother fucking section of his mouth. Whatever you think of Jake Paul, surely that now puts an end to the fixed fight narrative. Like, his mouth is in bits. This was not a fixed fight. No matter how much you dislike it, it was what it was. So how did he do? Well, on the one hand, Jake fucking Paul, the YouTube guy who started by fighting Deji, getting in a ring with AJ is just impressive to start off with. He made it 6 rounds, and when he was getting hurt, he kept getting up, and he showed heart. You know, it probably would have been easy to stay down and not get your teeth shoved into your fucking back of your head. And a lot of people are saying, look, he lasted longer than Francis Ngannou, so that's something. But why did he last longer than Francis Ngannou? Obviously, I think we all know why. Francis Ngannou came into the ring with the belief he could win. He was trying to win from the first bell. Jake Paul was more trying to survive and hope that like a miracle happens in the fight sometime. And when you've got those completely different states of mind, it delivers completely different results, right? Francis is right there in front of you. He's trying to hurt you. He's committing. He's leaving openings because he's committing. The other guy is halfway across the fucking ring. And when one guy isn't wanting to engage, it's really hard to pin them down and hurt them because they're not basically contributing to the sport. You know, we're supposed to be fighting each other, not, you know, you running away from me and me having to run after you. And we've seen this before in other boxing matches. It just makes it a very difficult night for the guy who's trying to be the aggressor, especially when you've got a ring that big. And the guy...
There's a reason why Jake Paul lasted longer than Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou came to fight. That's it. It was like Jake was stuck in 2020 the way he stayed 2 meters away from Joshua at all times. Jake was nowhere near Joshua's range. Nowhere near. Francis was very near. He came to box him. Jake just came in there to survive. That's all it was. He just wanted to see the end bell. He maybe land a lucky overhand right, which he did land a couple. Eventually, when the distance was closed, due to Jake not running, due to him being tired, boom, the knockout came. That's all it was. I don't want to hear people say, oh, he did better than Francis, because he didn't, because Francis was in boxing range and Jake might as well.
Some fans have drawn striking comparisons between Jake Paul and Francis Ngannou based on how long each lasted against Anthony Joshua. As one social media post from Blonde MMA pointed out, many are missing the bigger picture. It showed that Jake Paul is not only a better boxer than Ngannou, but arguably could even be considered closer in skill level to Tyson Fury. While Ngannou lasted only 2 rounds against Joshua, Paul went 6 rounds, even with a broken jaw, before being knocked out. This led some fans to argue that Paul demonstrated greater durability in that matchup, suggesting he might fare better against top-level opponents, such as a potential bout with Deontay Wilder around June or July, though details were still being finalized. Observers noted that Paul consistently got back up, showing courage and resilience, despite his limited boxing experience. Only a few years of training.
I think fans here with Sergey Lapin. Sergey, Anthony Joshua stopping Jake Paul tonight. He had a message for Tyson Fury. Greedy belly. What did you make of that?
Nice fight. Before 1 year, not work, not training, and now today this first step. Yes, maybe second step, one more opponent, one more fight, and maybe we see fight Fury and AJ in September, November. I don't know.
What
fight?
Yeah, what did you think of Jake Paul's performance in there? He kept getting up, showed bravery. What did you make of Jake Paul?
For me, I like this guy good. This guy 5 years training boxing in have big heart. He stand up 3 times and stand up and fight. This not AJ punch very strong.
What about obviously Usyk is no longer WBO champion. Could we see AJ and Fabio Wardley now?
This is good fight. I think this is good fight. Fabio, good boxer, good puncher. I think this is nice fight.
Lastly, Tyson Fury, if he fights Joshua next year, what happens?
I think AJ win.
Any update with Usyk Wilder?
We teamwork, working maybe June, July.
Where could that be? Here?
I think I don't.